Good afternoon all. My name is Nilesh Gauda. I'm the head data fabrics representing Amnex, and I will not take more than 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. So why AI? So India is at a pivotal moment with respect to public transformation. India's vast governance structure covering more than 700 districts, 10,000 odd line departments, it's already really under pressure from increasing urbanization, increasing expectations from citizens with respect to citizens' availability, and capability bottlenecks. But AI has the capability to address all those challenges. Now, let us look at the scenarios. We experience delays in grievance redressal. There are leakages in public subsidies. There are inefficiencies in transport management system. And to address them, if we empower AI and we use AI, it will basically help us to move from reactive service delivery to predictive governance. And we have seen emerging technologies and models in that particular aspect. Take the instance of, say, yield production, estimation of yield production based on AI in, say, any agriculture sector. Or for that matter, effective service delivery, basing a common citizen data pub. All this is possible, but then AI is not magic. AI will help us only when it is embedded into a system. The policies are there, the procedures are there, and it is scaled to a larger extent and governed ethically. A lot of pilot projects in AI are successful, but then what happens is they fail when they go for a large-scale implementation. So the idea today is to basically discuss how do we adopt AI and move from pilot implementations to large-scale implementations in the governance sector. So when we talk about the maturity level, various departments in India are in different maturity. Most of them, unfortunately, are in stage 1 and stage 2. There are few good examples in stage 3 also, which is the highest maturity stage, like GSTN or UIDA. Stage 1 is when basically government departments engage AI or employ AI for automating their workflows. It is basically related to chatbots or maybe for ticketing issue systems. Stage 2 is wherein there is some level of predictivity analysis. The case I talked about is basically yield detection using AI based on satellite data. Here, AI has the ability to influence decisions, but then again it is in silo, it is not integrated. The third stage is where we basically leverage AI to the full extent. Here, AI is embedded in the procedures and systems, and because of that, we are able to derive the desired outcome. But then there are some barriers, and we'll discuss some of them. Now, honestly speaking, whenever there is a failure in the AI project, we always blame the technology and we say the technology is good, but that's not the case. What exactly is the reason is more often than not, the ecosystem is not present. So let us look at the barriers. The barriers is number 1, data silos. Most of the organizing departments work in silos. Yes, they might be functioning properly, but when it comes to interoperability, there is not much of evidence there. The second is procurement frameworks. All our tenders today are more related to or aligned to the hardware procurement side. For something related to AI, which is iterative in nature and software, and which calls for, say, quality based selection, we do not have the right frameworks for the models. So it is essential that we have frameworks and procurement models that are related to, say, taking sandboxes, regulatory sandboxes, and then linking the contractual outcomes to the SLAs and the desired outcomes. The third is explainability. In India, any decision that is major may affect millions of people. So it is essential that whatever tool or model we employ, that is transparent in nature. And it is for that reason, the right regulations have to be put in place. Institutional resistance. More often than not, senior government department officials are reluctant to change, and AI is no exception to that particular thing. Coupled with the fact that AI will steal our job, we will be rendered jobless because of AI introduction, is something that is basically hindering the adoption of AI. More importantly, we are not giving adequate training and know-how of AI tools to the governmental staff. We don't need data scientists only at the central and ministerial levels. The need is to have engineers or impart training to the existing government staff and functionaries as well. The last is the scaling challenges. Government departments are more often than not happy to undertake free POC or paid POC for a small project. But when it comes to large-scale implementation, they become a little bit reluctant or hesitant. And rightly so, because there are a lot of intricacies involved. So it is essential that we design the right framework, set up the right standards and procedures, and give an enabling environment where there is incentive for the government staff as well, and there is accountability in terms of organization responsibility to derive the desired outcomes. So unless we address these barriers, AI will just remain a buzzword for conferences of POCs. So what we are proposing is a model that is basically AI-enabled and data-driven. The first step is to define a vision and strategy. The vision and strategy has to be aligned to central and state government, not to an individual department or a small-time project. Okay, states like Tamil Nadu and Telangana have already taken a lead in this particular aspect. The second is basically setting up data infrastructure. We need to have a platform which basically facilitates interoperability among systems. Third is capacity building. As I earlier mentioned, we need to have people equipped with desired knowledge and technical skills about adoption of our utilization of AI. And the fourth is scaling. We need to have the right framework, we need to have the right standards, we need to have the right enabling environment and policy and procedures to do this. And when we all do this, it does not become a tech enabler. AI becomes a transformation enabler. For the past 18 months, we have been talking about Gen AI. It has like bursted on the e-governance scenario quite a lot. And we don't talk normally only about content creation. Generative AI has the potential to become a game changer and unlock a lot of potentials with respect to governance sector. Now, consider a case, somebody in the rural city of India, in a rural area of India, can speak in Tamil or Telugu and into an AI system and help generate a letter or an application with respect to scheme application or raise a complaint. The other use case is consider the use of AI in analyzing the impact of a new policy in agriculture sector with respect to employment or changing market prices. We all talk about documentation automation. Today, AI tools can make minutes for meeting for your government staff. They can prepare a synopsis of a report, or they can file a response to RTI queries also with supporting documents. Now, these are low-hanging fruits. But then, do we overlook the risk also? No, we cannot, because there are some inherent risks also. Misinformation, hallucinated outputs, algorithms that are biased in nature and not tuned perfectly are potential risks, and we cannot overlook them. So, in the Indian context, it is essential that we have the right use cases, maybe limited, but have the right use cases, define them, and have a transparency and a fairness mechanism in place. And that's a way forward we want to suggest. The last part is basically how do we do this approach from pilot to platform implementation. I've already talked about having an AI mission. That is, we need to empower task force at the state and central level missions. Second is developing an AI platform. We all talk about the India stack, right? It is already defined. But why can't we have a similar kind of technology stack for AI tools also, which will be facilitating interoperability? Such a platform will be scalable, manageable, and available in multiple languages. The third is mandate AI governance standards. We need to have policies, procedures, and systems in place. The government of India has released the DPDP Act. That is, they want to protect the personal information. But we could have similar rules for adoption of AI tools and models, which will be based on the principle of transparency and fairness. The last one is basically workflows development. As pointed earlier, we need to have AI-enabled staff at all levels and not just at the top echelons of the government sector. And this particular model is not, or the approach is not basically restricted to a state government. It's a federal approach. It follows the Indian federal structure. That is, the state does have the authority or they have the flexibility to have innovation in their projects. But then the idea is they should all link up to the shared vision or the shared architecture of the central government. India has got tools, technologies, data, capability, talent, everything. But the idea is to devise a strategy, adopt pace, and then have the willpower to take it ahead. I would like to conclude by saying that the future of governance in India would be citizen-centric, data-driven, and AI-enabled. But then for that to happen, we just have to move ourselves from pilot implementations and have a mindset to take up large-scale implementation. You take time, but then you devise a strategy. That's very important. India has already given large-scale development projects with respect to digital transformations like Aadhaar, and more recently the UPI. UPI has been adopted across globe also in some of the Southeast Asian nations. So I do not think we cannot do that. And the next frontier for all of us would be AI in the governance sector. And the benefits are there for all of us. And the output and the outcomes will not be with respect to profits like in the private sector, but it will be with respect to the strategy, the pace, and the fairness and transparency that we want to serve our fellow countrymen with. That's it from my side. Thank you.